What up traders, what up investors, Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and we're going to be looking at Peloton or Peloton, ticker symbol PTON. This stock has been completely on fire. It has earnings coming out after the bell today, and we're going to see if it's worthwhile investment, even though it's been such a high flyer. If you're not familiar with the company, they're the ones that have been completely taking off with the at-home fitness models with their bikes, treadmills, and different various apps and accessories to allow people to work out at home, even though once it's the virus and the pandemic, the lack of ability to go to the gym and other various components of staying at home and just getting that fitness on and be able to keep up that wonderful physique and get on in those really tight yoga pants for all those ladies out there. That being said, we got some boys here on Wallstreetbets. I'm saying salad water here, basically having Peloton earnings proof is going to let it ride. Basically, I'm guessing that he's going to continue to hold these calls. He has the one call, or sorry, 66 buys here for the $80 call all the way out for January 15th, 2021. But then he also has a very short dated calls here on the 80 call as well that are expiring tomorrow. So of course, earning is tonight, the 10th of September, after the close, after the bell, and then we'll see on how this overall position turns out. He's already currently up 118%. So it's about $120,000. So that's a really nice position without a doubt, and don't want to judge the guy, but we got the low battery symbol there. Anywho, let's go ahead and flip over to the charts here. We can kind of see on here, Peloton again, ticker symbol PTON. This thing has been completely on fire ever since the bottom of April and March, and has been continuing to rally, being one of the very high flyers, one of the fan favorites. Again, with Zoom and all these other various stocks have just really exploded up to the upside, and you can really see that trend really continue to keep track here. Keeping above that 21 EMA, which is that yellow line there, and just continue to grind higher, coming down to the 34, which is the orange line, a couple times, but building that really nice base here and really exploding here on the squeeze. Once volume came in, it really just took off. My only concern, again, this with earnings is that, hey, earnings are a coin flip. They can have fantastic revenues and earnings, but if they give bad guidance or whatever other reason, that this could be easily come back down to earth. This has already had a pretty substantial move in the market due to the fact of that earnings announcement, or of the potential run-up of earnings. So I'm just being very careful and being very mindful. Again, we're talking about Wallstreetbets, so careful and being mindful doesn't really exist on that platform. But these YOLO traders going to be very yes, he's going to, if it goes up to 80 or past 80, he's going to be continue going higher. That individual trader is going to make a boatload of money. But also, he's already had a pretty nice return on capital. Maybe just getting out of those, taking some of the money off the table, taking at least what he initially invested and let the rest run. This is my opinion. I would even take more off the table and maybe let 10% run, because even a 10% move, 10% of that capital, even if it gets a large move, you're still going to be a very happy camper. But looking at here again, the chart looks really good between the 5 and 8 moving averages continue to grind higher. Even though we had that overall sell-off in a lot of the tech-heavy companies, we are still seeing that momentum kind of come down to that 21 EMA and just do a really hard bounce here, basically giving us that fortitude of like, hey, this trend is still intact. Even though that we have earnings on this side, I have to be super mindful of that. So looking here on the chart here, they're saying a plus or minus move on earnings, or this Friday, is $13.35. So again, where does that put us? As of right now, we're around the pre-market, we're around like 93-ish, 50, but let's just kind of go on what the market close was yesterday. So $13, where we're currently looking up here, we're going to be hitting around the 102, 103. The next overhead Fibonacci retracement target is 107. Do I think that this could be hit? I think it can if the momentum continues. That's going to be a very attractive point to kind of see this kind of come through. Another bit of analysis we can do on the short-term side, just on these very last couple days here, that overall target above $98 is also very interesting as well, even to that 105. So if the earnings does well and the things really starts printing higher, a break above 98 to 105 is very much likely. Again, earnings is a complete coin flip, so they can spin in any other direction. That the earnings, no one knows. We don't have a crystal ball. So if the earnings do not perform very well and we get a slap across the face, or just for whatever reasons that the company doesn't perform to what their metrics were, we can see a dip below that $13 swing high, swing low. So we're going to be looking well below like into the 70s, high 70s to $76. So $76 would be where the 21 EMA kind of lines up, which again is a very, as we've seen, a very strong support level to the downside. Would that be a buying opportunity? Normally, I'm not a big fan of on a huge downturn on earnings and then buying the dip the next day. So it usually takes a little bit, a couple more days, or even at least 48 hours to 72 hours to kind of flush everything out, to kind of see on how it overall stacks up, because it takes a lot of people to hit their news feeds, a lot of people to act upon it, and a lot of people just to kind of circulate around the different investing communities. Of course, it's going to be a very sharp move up or down depending on what happens. I think a lot of eyes are on this stock without a doubt. Looking here on a weekly side, this thing has just been completely like a rocket ship, really holding between that 5 and 8 moving averages. Like we talked about before, those 5 and 8 moving averages are very aggressive moving averages, especially on the weekly side. And that's usually very high ticked with when you kind of fall into a high growth stock company. So a high growth stock company really just falls into something that grows exponentially, in the sense of moving between the averages of the 5 and 8 and just continue to grind higher. Again, that really pullback, anything can happen in the stock. Just be very mindful. But again, I think the overall expectation is very high, and we'll just see if they're able to be met. And we'll see on how this particular trader and others kind of pan out and see on how they perform after earnings. Again, guys, thank you so very much for watching. Again, this is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor. If you're interested in joining the channel, we have the YouTube join button, also have a Patreon page, and as well, we have a fantastic Discord you can join as well. And we're going to be doing some more fun stuff on looking at options and looking at Tastyworks on what I use on how I trade, and looking at some of my core holdings in my portfolio. Again, guys, thank you so very much for watching. This is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.